Hello there, lovely people, it's Alex from Nintendo Life here. Now, as any long-time fan of the channel will tell you, I'm a bit of a Pokemon nut. In fact, I love it so much, I even went out of my way to try and find a real-life Pokeball that actually looked decent, not one of those little cheap plasticky things. It turns out they exist. Whilst they are officially advertised as Pokeball inspired, it's pretty clear where the inspiration has come from and what they're trying to emulate. But they look fantastic. There are a few subtle sort of design differences, but they're very subtle and it really does look the part. Nobody's going to mistake it for anything else. I got in touch with the lovely people over at the Phoenix Orb project. You can find a link to them in the description, and they sent me not only one of their Pokeballs, but they also sent me a whole box full of other stuff. But let's look at the meat first. And so, not to delay any longer, this is the Phoenix Orb. Now, you may sort of think, okay, that looks pretty cool. It looks like a Pokeball, you know, but this thing has a few hidden details. I mean, for a start, I'll show you some close-up images, of course. For a start, you've got this lovely sort of matte finish, but this thing is solid aluminium. It is, well, I say solid. It's not solid all the way through. That would be ridiculous, but what is inside is a different thing entirely. It's a secret. You'll find out in a moment. But simply put, the quality of this thing, it feels so nice in the hand. It is not the cheapest product that they have, and in fact there is a cheaper alternative you can get, but if you're going for premium, this thing is just, it's so weighty. I don't know how much it weighs, but it's enough. That's upside down. That's a Premier Ball, son. No, the Premier Ball looks different to that. But what is this secret that is hidden inside? Well, it is this in here. You see, it's just held on by magnets, which is a really nice way of just keeping it all, I can't even do it properly. It's a really nice way of just keeping it easy accessible and things like that. But when it's down, you have to put not a huge amount of force, but enough force that's not going to fall open accidentally. Unless maybe it falls off a shelf onto a pile of books, but that is not likely. But anyway, what's inside? Well, as you more likely caught a brief glimpse, there is indeed a circuit board and some batteries in here. And this thing on the front that is basically the Pokeball button is indeed a button. And let's see what it does, because it's not just for show. Did I turn it off? I think I turned it off. Let's try that again once more with flavor. That's the sound it makes. And then it starts flashing, and it goes through a whole sort of cycle, and hopefully, you know, I'm going to skip forward to when it does the next bit. Oh, bloody hell, there we go. That's it there. It starts beeping, and it continues to beep. And that's like the Pokeball shaking, I think, something like that. It's just a nice little cycle. It's something different. To be honest, though, it does seem to go through batteries like nobody would ever expect. I mean, it just takes two button cell batteries. What are they? CR2032s, and it takes two of them. And I pressed this button originally. I've got fresh batteries in here now. I pressed this button originally, I don't know, maybe 10 times, and then it started to go a bit funny, and I'm guessing it's because it had low battery. If I can go back on. I'm usually a lot better at that. And also, when you got the top part on, you can't really hear it. That's really quiet. So it's a nice little bonus thing, but to me, it's not really make or break. What I really like about this, though, is just how brilliant it looks. It's so, I'm gonna say, it's sexy. Look at it. There's this two pieces of aluminium milled out with another bit of aluminium. That's plastic. It's solid, it's metal, it means business, and that kind of proves that it's metal. But if you're not willing to shell out for metal, because this is basically the premium item, there is a slightly cheaper version that looks almost as good. Bum, 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 bum. Which one is the metal one? It's this one. This is a plastic variant that you can also get, and this again has guts inside it. Sort of rattles around. It's not really secured down in any way. And it has the circuitry, and it has all the batteries and lovely stuff in there. And this thing does a different thing. It just turns on the light and turns off again when you press it. Yes, it did. Excellent. I remembered correctly. This thing, again, it really just looks the business. It looks so cool. It doesn't have the weight of the other one, and to be honest, if you try and put it down on a flat surface, which I can't really emulate, it rolls off, because the weight of the button on the front is metal, and so it just wants to roll forward. It's trying to roll away. It's trying to go on its own Pokemon journey, but we're not going to let it. We're going to put it on a shelf and gawk at it. So what am I going to do with these things? Well, I am just going to stick them on a shelf because they look so cool. I'm going to put them on a little stand that I've made, which is actually an old ring, just an old metal ring that I had. I bought it when I was 16. and it holds it quite nicely. But seriously, I mean, look at these things. These are absolutely gorgeous. I do have to side with the metal one because it is the more premium product. But if you're just going to stick it on a shelf or in a cabinet or something just to show off how much of a Pokemon master you really are, then the plastic one will do you fine, to be honest with you. Again, if you really want to go all out, or if it's a gift for someone and you don't mind splashing a bit of extra cash, I'd say go for the metal. But if you just want it to look good, plastic is almost as good. But what about this box of extra gubbins that I've been sent? Well, don't worry, I haven't forgotten about that, and not just because it's got my name on it. You probably can't see that, it's probably too small. Anyway, we're going to crack this thing open and take a look at the things inside, one at a time. I'm going to do it in an order that I've just made up in my head. First of all, we have got this. And these are just other things that the Phoenix Orb project sell on their website, one of which is a lovely coin. This is again solid metal, I'm guessing aluminium or aluminum as you say in America, and it's got the logo for the Phoenix Orb project on there, and it's very shiny and it's very nice. The only downside is it is exactly the same on both sides, so I honestly don't know what purpose it has as a coin. Like, you know, if you flip it, is it heads or tails? It's the Phoenix Orb project. Lovely. But moving on, we have also got another thing that they sent me, which is this. This is just a little pendant, really, for with the Mega Evolution stone design on it. And it's simple, it's, you know, not out of this world, but there's something nice about it. It's got a decent weight to it. I don't know, I just like it. Again, not out of this world, but nice. Didn't expect this. It was a bonus. 3 items left, and I'm having to open another smaller cardboard box here in order to get into this. This is another Pokeball, but this is not just a heavy lump of plastic, which indeed it is, but it is also so much more. It is, as you can see there, the thread. This is a gear stick knob, which is a wonderful expression that I think I've been wanting to say for quite a while. Unfortunately though, I haven't been able to test this because it is an Imperial thread. And I live in the UK where I'd have to buy various adapters. I'm not even sure you can do that on my car, but it's a nice thing if you're into Pokemon and you have a standard gear stick. You do it. Second to last, we have got something that is not entirely related. This is a hologram viewer. I don't know why they sent me this. Basically, the idea of this thing is that you rest it on, or you rest your phone on the top, or you rest this on top of your phone. I can't remember which way round it is. I'll do a close-up shot of how this works. And you basically stop making noise. And basically, when you look through these little panels with very specific videos, you can see a 3D holographic image of something like a Pokemon or something. And I think they look really cool, to be honest. Again, not terribly relevant, but they sent it to me, so I thought I'd show you. I think that's only fair. And lastly, we have a tiny plastic Porygon. I don't know why this was sent to me, but I love him and I will look after him and cherish him always. But there you have it. That is a real-life metal Pokeball, and indeed a plastic one that is, again, very nice, but not as impressive. I think if you're gonna go, you know, what's the expression they say? If a job's worth doing, it's worth doing well. That's not the one I was thinking of, but it'll do. And it's just a lovely thing, you know. It's more of a sort of a collector's thing. I don't see it having a huge widespread appeal because it is such a premium product, and again, it's kind of a niche product, but it doesn't light up because I've turned it off. But it lights up and it makes the occasional noise. I think maybe that came through, I'm not entirely sure, because it really is quiet with this lid on. And it's just a nice thing. Stick it on your shelf, show it off to your friends and say, hey guys, look at my Pokeball, and they'll be like, arrgh. Or maybe they'll say something else. Depends what your friends are like. Massive thanks to the Phoenix Orb project for sending all these lovely things over. If you want to buy any of them yourself, you can find a link down there in the description where you'll find all sorts of links to the loveliness, mainly the stuff that I mentioned. Actually, it's all going to be the stuff I mentioned. Thank you so much for watching. If you like this video, then why don't you use a special metal Pokeball on that subscribe button and see whether you can catch it, but it is a low capture rate, and be sure to check out nintendolife.com for all sorts of lovely Nintendo-related content. Thank you again for watching. Bye-bye. This thing is suspiciously heavy. Not suspiciously, what's the word I'm looking for? Surprisingly.